everyone, welcome to Born in Vienna, and if you're new here, hi, I'm Vienna, like the city in Austria. I'm 14, my mom and I have traveled across 5 continents, visited 20 countries, and somewhere between airport lounges and street food stalls, I started building something else, a financial portfolio. Yep, while most people my age are figuring out TikTok dances, I'm figuring out how to make my allowance work harder than I do. Today's video, be the CEO of your own allowance. And before you click away thinking this is another boring, supposedly inspirational finance lecture from someone who's going to tell you to stop buying coffee, relax. I'm 14 in high school and I don't even like coffee. But here's what I do like. Travel. A lot. My mom and I have been to 5 continents, 20 countries, and still counting. And somewhere between getting lost in Madrid, Spain, and haggling in Marrakesh, Morocco, I figured something out. Money isn't just this thing adults stress about. It's actually kind of doable for anyone, even a person like me with a quirky teen brain. So today, we're talking about something that might sound weird, being the CEO of your own allowance. Stick with me. It's less boring than it sounds. And who doesn't like being in charge and having money? Let me tell you when this clicked for me. I was in Lima, Peru last year, standing in front of a vendor that sold the cutest llama figurines. I wanted one so badly, but I'd already blown most of my spending money on souvenirs and street art. A mistake I'm known to make quite often. My mom in her classic self didn't bail me out. Instead, she asked me something that sounded simple but was really profound. If this was your money that you had to earn like a CEO, would you make the same decisions with your money? It made me think. CEOs make decisions. They plan things out. They don't just wake up and see where the day takes them. That's when it hit me. I've been treating my money like a passenger in my life instead of treating myself like the person in control of it. Okay, so what does being the CEO of your own allowance actually look like? Because it's not about becoming some stressed out business person. That would be terrible. And also, we're only teenagers. We're supposed to do fun things. It would be in the job description of being a teen if being a teen were a job. Being the CEO of your money means 3 main things. First, you know where your money is going, not in a weird, nerdy way, but just knowing where the money is actually going. When I started tracking my spending for just 1 month, literally just writing it down on a piece of paper, I was shocked. I spent $47 on several Target runs. $47. That's like 3 of my favorite books from my favorite authors, or money saved up for our next country to visit. And I'm not saying never buy snacks, toys, games. I'm saying know that you're doing it. There's a huge difference between choosing to spend money and having a hole in your pocket and not knowing that you're leaking money everywhere. Second, you make decisions, not just emotional reactions to how you're feeling in the moment. This is the big one. A CEO doesn't just do whatever comes up. They have a strategy. For my mom and I, that means deciding in advance what percentage of our money goes to different departments, or buckets as we like to call them. My mom has taught me, by her example, to take at least 25% of what money I get and invest it into the stock market for my future. Her and I both use index funds to put our money into, which is less risky than buying individual stocks. I also take 50% for whatever I want right now, and the last 25%, that goes in my travel adventure fund for the next adventure we go on. Your percentages might be different, and that's fine. The point is that you decide them, not by chance. Third, you're thinking ahead, but not being weird. A CEO doesn't just focus on this month or the next month. They're thinking about the next year or 5 years from now. It's really important to allow yourself to spend money on things that make you happy right now. You're also thinking about the future you and making sure you're not going to be mad at the person you are today by spending your money on useless things that end up being junk. I still have trouble applying this to my daily life. If you see something you like on sale, why not buy it, right? Because you're saving money for the future. I can't speak for you, but in my bedroom, I have things that I bought recently, and they'll end up just being in my junk pile, tossed in my closet. In the end, you lost money, and I'm always trying to do better at this. Alright, let's get into how this actually works. Step 1. Figuring out what you're working with. Whether you get an allowance, earn money from a part-time job, get birthday cash from relatives, or some combination, add it up. What's your monthly average? Be honest, mine varies a lot depending on the time of year. So I calculated an average from the last 6 months. It turns out it's around $180 a month between allowances, birthday, holiday gifts, and work I get paid to do. Step 2. Create your departments. Remember how I mentioned those percentages? Here's what mine look like. 50% towards fun spending, whatever I want right now. 25% travel fund, my big goal. 25% investments. Yes, really, we'll get to this. I started with $50 a month being invested, and that's money I would have otherwise just blown it on something I won't even remember buying. Yours might be completely different. Maybe you're saving for a car, or college, or recording equipment, or just building some breathing room so you feel more secure. The categories mean less than having them all. Step 3. Actually separate the money. This is where it gets fun. I use a combination of savings account, one checking account that I can actually use, and cash envelopes for other things. It sounds weird, but there's something about touching the money that makes you feel like it's more real. And you also get that feeling of pretending that you're super rich. Consider doing this digitally with apps. Whatever helps you actually stick to it. Investing electronically is a no-brainer for me, and it comes out automatically on the first of the month. Set it up one time and forget about it. It just happens automatically. I can free my brain up to think about other fun things to do or see, like what country my mom and I are going to explore next. Step 4. Review your decisions weekly. Just 5 minutes. Sunday nights work the best for me because it's right before I go back to school on Monday morning. I look at where my money went that week and I ask myself, did this match with what I actually wanted? Sometimes the answer is yes. I regret nothing about buying those books. Sometimes it's, I bought new shoes at the mall, but I don't like them as much now. Because I just wanted to have that feeling of getting something new. That's not great. The point isn't to come down hard on yourself. It's just to notice patterns of where your money is going. As you can probably figure out, I'm still learning how to do many things, and my mom is always by my side encouraging me. With all the time we spent together on our travel adventures, she's probably my best friend of all time. So let's talk about that 25% I mentioned for investments. Because I know some of you are thinking, Vienna, we're in high school. Isn't that a bit much? But I would argue that you just haven't looked at something called compound interest and what it will do. Here's my logic. At age 14, I have a huge head start over most people. I looked it up on Google and it said that most Americans don't start investing for retirement until between ages 32 and 37. Over time, that $50 a month I electronically invest will grow to huge amounts when I reach retirement age in my very far away future. Or another way to look at it is I can retire much earlier than most people. I really like the sound of retiring in my 30s. Huh? After a certain length of a time, a thing called compound interest takes over. This is where the money you invest grows by huge amounts. The longer you wait to start investing, the larger the monthly amount you have to invest increases. I don't know about you, but I would rather start investing at 14, a small amount of $50 a month that I will not even miss right now, instead of waiting until I'm 25 or 32, having to invest double or even 4 times more per month. The longer you wait to start investing, the multiplier gets bigger, and it works against you, not for your benefit. I used Claude AI to help me get some real facts about my choice to invest early. So I'll have contributed $33,600 total of my own money, but it grows to be $1,476,699 by age 70, assuming there's 10% annual returns. But that's nearly $1.5 million. The moral of this story is that even $50 a month at your age will grow into serious money by retirement. Another way to look at it is, for every $1 you invest at age 14, they're actually worth over $304 each by retirement. Your earliest contributions are doing the most work. That's why starting out is so worth it. The math is actually kind of beautiful. But it's not a guarantee. The stock market goes up and down, but the principle is worth seeing for yourself. Starting early matters more than starting with a lot. Plus, there's something kind of exciting about owning tiny pieces of a company's. But every time I see an Apple store or a Nike ad, I'm like, hey, I own a small piece of that. Time is literally the most valuable thing you can give your money. There are accounts designed for minors, where a parent or guardian needs to be involved, and honestly, starting with even $50 a month makes a huge difference. My current goal is to add additional money occasionally, like when I received a $250 check the other day from a program I am in. I'm investing $175, and the rest is going towards our South American adventure coming up in 2 months. You're probably wondering how this all connects to that traveling I mentioned earlier at the beginning. My mom is always reminding me of a saying she lives by: a penny saved is a penny earned. Here's the thing, traveling taught me that money is just a tool. It's not the goal. The goal is experiences, personal growth, learning more things about life, and even financial freedom earlier than most people, whatever matters to you. But to use a tool well, you need to understand it. Every country I've visited has taught me something different about money. In Argentina, I saw how inflation can make people think very differently about holding on to cash versus spending it. In parts of Europe, I noticed how much more relaxed teenagers my age talk about money, without all that American awkwardness around it. What I realized is that financial knowledge isn't about being obsessed with money, it's about understanding it well enough that it stops controlling you. When you know how to use what you have, you can focus on the things that actually matter, like deciding which continents to explore next or what new skills to build. My mom and I are just normal, simple people putting into practice a system that allows us to invest money for our future and travel the world now while we're still enjoying the time we have together while we're both young. Well, my mom is still young to me, even though she's 30-something, but most of all, it's about having a different mindset than most people. So, Here's what being the CEO of your own allowance really means. It means you're in the driver's seat, even though you may not be old enough to have a driver's license. You're making informed choices instead of just letting stuff happen to you. You're thinking about the future you and what they might want while still letting the present you have some fun and take risks. Occasionally waste money on something completely ridiculous because it made you laugh, like a cute fidget or a squishmallow. And it's not about being perfect. I still make dumb money decisions sometimes. Last month, I bought a hat in Marrakesh, Morocco that I've literally never worn since. But now, when I make those decisions, they're my personal choices, not accidents. And that feels completely different. So, start small. Track your money spending for a week. Separate your next bit of money into 2 categories. Instead of leaving it in one pile, ask yourself what you're actually the CEO of, whether you're running that company the way you want to run it. And if you mess up, welcome to being a CEO. They mess up all the time. The difference is that they learn from it and make adjustments. Thank you for watching Wandering Vienna. I'm Vienna, and I'll see you on the next one. And make sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. And come back because there's always more to explore. Bye!